Thank you for listening and downloading the West Box Score podcast. I am your host, D-Bot, aka Donald Paz, aka D-Bot. I don't know why I did that, but I just messed that up. But
Run it back.
thank you for listening and downloading the West Box Score podcast. I am your host, Donald Paz, aka D-Bot, and with me today is my co-host, my hermano, Sonny Hermano.
That's
coming
right.
through.
What's up, hermano? What's up, D-Bot?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Obviously, another week where we miss our third guy here.
Man,
but,
it's like we suddenly transformed into the Lake Show without our star player.
yeah, man, it's like AD all over. I mean, we made that analogy the other day, and
Yeah.
it just feels like that. You know, like AD's still out for the Lakers.
Lakers without their AD, West Box
Yeah.
Score without their AG. You know,
Yeah.
It's-
Our AG. But yeah, man. So I mean, obviously, speaking of the Lakers, a lot of Laker news that happened. Obviously over the weekend, if you watched the Hawks game, and then today, another thing, and we're definitely gonna go over that. Wanted to start off with the Lakers. They lost their back-to-back games that they had over the weekend. They had one on Saturday at noon with the Hawks and against the Suns, the Phoenix Suns yesterday. Unfortunately, LeBron James, if you watch the game, he sprained his ankle really bad, and he tried to play through it from what I saw, and then he just had to leave, and they diagnosed him with a high ankle sprain. They said he was out indefinitely, but I'm hearing reports that it might be like a 5-week absence from him. Anthony Davis is still out with an Achilles injury, and now I'm reading that like he might be back at the same time LeBron is back. I didn't really double check on Marcus Saul's like actual return date, but I mean I would think this is a 2-week COVID thing that he's on, right? I'm assuming we're on the second week already.
yeah, I think he's due back any game now.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought, because I know it was just more of a COVID protocol with him. But you know, Sonny, I know you saw these games, and I just wanted to know what your take is right now with like where you're at with the Lakers. I mean, do we hit the panic button? I mean, that's what I've been hearing from a lot of my buddies texting me. Like, should we hit the panic button? Playoffs, everything.
Playoffs. I think no, I don't think we can. It's not the panic button for me. It's the frustrated button. You know, it's the because it's different if these dudes were just not playing well. You know, and this was something that you could fix. Like, let's say it was a chemistry issue, and you can address that at the deadline by adding like a glue guy or something like that. But when you lose your top two players, and not just top two players on your team, top two players, two of the top 5 players in the league, that happen to play on your squad. That's just, what can you do, man? You just shrug. It's the emoji. You shrug your shoulders, put your hands up, you know, and you're like, you snake bit, man. It's just bad luck. Like, and all you can hope for is that the Lakers are able to hang on, and hang on meaning I think they're still absolutely obviously going to make the playoffs, because they were able to build a little bit of cushion from the bottom of the Western Division, or Western Conference. But hang on to the point where they're in that 4, 5, 6 seed area, and hope and pray that when, I'm not too concerned about LeBron, even though he is up there in age. He's really good about taking care of his body. Hopefully he doesn't rush it. Hopefully it's one of those things that he's actually ready to come back in 2 weeks. But I'm okay if the Lakers want to give him an extra 2 on top of that, just to build in some rest for him. And then, you know, the same thing with AD. AD's injury is the more concerning of the two to me, that I want to make sure that guy is right when he comes back. And then it's just a matter of hoping that, you know, the team is able to turn on the proverbial switch that championship teams sometimes have to go to, you know, to turn it on. And in this case, the Lakers have no choice. Hopefully chemistry is like, they pick it up right back up. And playoffs come around, and let's go, baby. Let's ride it all the way. But It's just frustrating. I'm not panicked. It's just a frustration feeling. What about you, man? You feel
Yeah,
panicked?
I mean, well, no, but I do feel like it is a little annoying that this is happening. I think before the All Star break, I had said like I had felt there was gonna be another slump coming for this Lakers team. Because it just felt like they had a slump prior to the All Star break, but I did not expect this slump to be our two best players being out
Yeah.
for more than a month, or it looks like a month for sure. I thought it was more like they just were not going to be winning, like for the sake of like the team just isn't, clicking or whatever,
Yeah.
and just seeing Braun being frustrated. But it seems like now they're probably, we don't know. I don't know if they're going to win or not like this, but it feels like LeBron's going to be frustrated regardless, but more than just because the teams may not be performing if they don't, but also because he can't get back in there and
Right.
do his thing, which he's used to. But I also wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the Lakers possibly, if this does, I'm thinking about worst case scenario, like they're still going to make the playoffs,
Right.
but like what is it going to be if they don't have home court advantage? Because I feel like, especially here in LA, like, a lot of the restrictions are coming down for the pandemic and
Right.
COVID, and things are starting to open up. I think theaters are coming back and whatnot. Gyms for sure are coming back. They're bothering me about validating my membership, which I'm not going to do because I didn't need it for a whole year. But um, and I just wanted to know, like, if certain teams in certain areas allow fans, do you think that's going to be an issue for the Lakers
I
if they have to travel like that?
That's a great question. I personally don't think it'll be an issue for the Lakers. And really, I don't think it'll be an issue for any team because I just think the idea of playing in front of a crowd, regardless if it's your home crowd or not, is going to get players hyped.
Yeah.
Like to
Yeah,
the point where
that's
they're
true.
like, I don't even care if it's you're rooting for me or not. Just the fact that
Yeah.
I get to play in front of somebody, like
Yeah. I didn't think of it like that, but that makes sense.
you
That
know what I
makes
mean?
sense.
It's going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
so that's why I'm not too concerned about,
Yeah.
quote unquote home court advantage because
Yeah.
it's going to be like everyone's hyped, extra juiced, extra,
Yeah.
so if anything the pressure's going to be on that home court team to be like, "Oh shoot, we're still kind of going through a pandemic and we're paying our hard-earned money to come and see y'all win. Don't
Y'all
let
better
us
win.
get COVID for nothing."
Yeah. Exactly. Dang, dude.
So,
Man, if it goes like that, then I'm sure the NBA is gonna try to figure out another trip to Disney World for the rest of the playoffs.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it is interesting seeing the Lakers go through what they're going through right now, and just the team. I don't know, seeing what they're gonna do, like in terms of figuring out what Frank Vogel does with his rotation, and these guys have to step up, man. Like I can't see this team do the whole, oh no, like AD and LeBron were actually 80% of who we were. Like
But that is, I mean, any
but
team, man.
it's like a truth that I don't want to accept, but I know it's there.
I
It's
see.
like I don't want to believe that, but I know it's true.
I hate
Like,
to break it to you, but in basketball of all sports, you lose your best player, you're screwed. You
yeah,
lose
man.
two of your best players, you're fucked so many ways. Like it's not.
It's yeah, and when I was watching the Suns game, I wasn't that into it because LeBron wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like it felt weird. I was like, I guess this is where you realize when you buy tickets to the game, you buy it because of certain players that you want to watch.
Yeah.
And then you hate it when they get injured, which I know you've shared your stories about, Shaq and whatnot. Like you're eating a burger before and you get alerted that Shaq's not playing or something.
No, it was for Kobe. Kobe's last.
Oh, was it Kobe?
Yeah,
Oh,
Kobe's
okay.
last season. Kobe's last.
You were
season.
like, dang, like you paid, you were looking forward to it, and it didn't happen. But I feel like that feeling is still there just as you watch the team.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's there for some of the players also. Like players do a good job, most of them, I should say, do a good job of adjusting to their roles, right? So everybody knows when you come on a team that has LeBron and AD, you're not the first option, you're not the second option. Don't even think about it,
Yeah,
and so players settle into different roles. Not to say that they can't be that guy, but it takes an adjustment to like tell your mind again, like, oh wait, now I'm the guy. Now
yeah,
I should be driving to the rack every single time. I should be asking for the ball every single time.
yeah,
But it takes a minute because again, and this is why chemistry is important. And honestly, this is why I expect the Lakers. It's like I don't need hero ball. I don't need any THT to lick his lips and be like, now's my time to
Yeah.
it's like, do what you can, young man, and try to hold it down, and hopefully these Lakers play 500 ball for the
Yeah.
next month,
Yeah.
and that's enough to kind of steady the ship until our two captains come back, and we'll go
That's
from
true.
there, because I don't see at the trade deadline, I just don't see where we have enough to offer for like a guy like that can come in and be now your alpha guy for the next month. Like a Bradley Beal, is who they're talking about out there. It's like, yeah, what are the Wizards are going to take THT and Kuzma? That's what it's going to take to get Bradley Beal? No, there's no
Yeah.
way.
That's true.
So it's just kind of like, yo, I hope Dennis Schroeder and Montrez and Kuzma
Yeah.
step it up a
Yeah.
little bit more. And again, 500 basketball. Just beat the teams that are behind you. If you're going to lose to the Suns, fine. If you're going to lose to the Clippers, fine. Even though the Clippers are technically, well, I guess, are they in fourth now? You're going to have to update us.
Yeah, they're still in fourth place as of the time of this recording. Lakers are still in third place. Clippers do have a game tonight. And just a real quick, I mean, the Clippers, they're on a 2-game winning streak over the weekend. Serge Ibaka was out and Patrick Beverley were both out. Ibaka with a back injury, Patrick Beverley with a knee injury. They were out against the Hornets, but they still took care of the Hornets. So as of right now, we don't know if either of them will be back against the Hawks, but the Clippers have a pretty stacked week. I mean, they're playing the Hawks tonight. They got the Spurs back to back, like literally back to back on the same team. It's crazy to see that. And then they got the 76ers, which are going to be probably the game of the weekend over on Saturday.
Ooh,
and
Doc against his old squad right there. He's gonna want to stick it to them.
Should be nice. Should be nice. And against his old assistant coach, Ty Lue.
Against Paul George, who was pretty much blaming Doc for the failures of last season.
Well, yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. I mean, Sixers look really good.
Yeah.
I like watching them play.
But with no Embiid, man, they're just.
I know. It was crazy, right? It's like I was looking at like the whole MVP stuff, right? Because Embiid was like a top candidate for the MVP, and then he gets hurt, and that's the first thing I thought of was like, damn, his MVP chances are out now.
Yep.
Like that's it. And then like obviously LeBron's doing his thing, and it's like they were rumoring, obviously the media, ESPN and them were like rumoring that maybe it'll be LeBron because he's having a great year so far, and then LeBron gets hurt now.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, what happens?
Back to Giannis.
Might be back to Giannis. Oh man, that'd be crazy if it was
3-time MVP.
Yeah, the other guys I've seen on the list are like Jokic,
Yeah, Jokic for sure.
It's I would think that's, it's worthy. He's good.
For sure.
Any team would want him, really. Like that's what makes you valuable, right? When every team wants you to be on their team.
Yeah, but not only that, the numbers he's putting up, and I only know this because I have him on my fantasy squad.
Yeah.
It's unreal, like what offensively what he's doing. Now, if you're gonna give your MVP for both sides of the court, then it has to be Giannis now that LeBron and Embiid are out of the equation. Yeah. But if we're just talking offensively, Jokic is your guy, man. That's your MVP this year. He's putting up some insane numbers, man.
Those are the 4 guys I see in the top 5 that I'm hearing in the discussions. So
yeah,
it's crazy to see that. It's like, man, it's like a lot of big men, really. So it's kind of crazy. It's the year of the big man in that regard of MVP. It was crazy because even yesterday too, wasn't it like LaMelo Ball hurt his wrist? Could be out.
He's out for the rest of the season.
It's like, dang, like I think a lot of people had him on the Rookie of the Year, list because he was like pretty, not just because of his fame, but like he was producing. So
I think Anthony Edwards might be licking his chops.
That's what I was thinking of too when they announced the news. I was like, oh, this is Edwards' award to lose.
Yep.
That kid is I like how he plays.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? Like I think he's really good there. But we'll see what happens with Minnesota, man. Like I feel like him and Cat might have something in the future. I don't know. Depends. I don't know if Cat's gonna get frustrated in the future with the squad if they don't perform well. But I mean, with Anthony Edwards, it looks like a little spark is in there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been paying, close attention to the March Madness, and this is the time of the year where I actually like follow collegiate basketball like that. Of course, because I'm quote unquote I'm invested, and I'm doing the money sign over here. And I'm doing the Johnny Manziel money sign, money
Yeah,
celebration over here. Um, I'm invested, and so now I'm like paying attention. And this is when you start to see players who's like, oh, that kid is nice. I wonder who
yeah,
the number one pick is going to be. And you start thinking about teams who are in that position to draft, in the
yeah,
top five, and the T Wolves are one of them. So who knows, if they get themselves another stud like Anthony Edwards seems to be,
yeah,
um, they could be scary in about 3 years.
yeah.
So we'll
I'm
see.
seeing. I forgot the kid's name, Cody something from Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oklahoma City. He's like the guy they're projecting to be the number one. I know it's him and the other kid, Suggs from Gonzaga, that are like one of the top 2 or 3. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see how that Minnesota team plays out and what that means for them. Going back to the Lakers, obviously today we got some breaking news, which was, it was tough to hear that, given, we just went through this whole LeBron being out phase, a whole month of no LeBron, no AD. And then we hear about the news. Like, I wanted to say I caught wind of it somewhere around noonish, I want to
Yeah.
say noon time, and that was that, Lakers great Elgin Baylor has died. The team made the announcement today saying he died of natural causes in Los Angeles. He was surrounded by his wife and daughter. Elgin Baylor won the Rookie of the Year award back in 1959. He went on to make 11 All-Star appearances and still holds the record for most points scored in an NBA Finals game. And that record was 61 points
Whew.
against the Boston Celtics
Yeah,
in
damn right.
1962.
Yep.
Elgin Baylor was 86 years old, and he's also NCAA Hall of Famer.
Man, legend, legend.
Definitely a legend. I know we have a slack at our day job, but I had said I'm glad that he got to see, his statue be unveiled in front of Staples.
For
Like,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like that was really cool to see that the Lakers did that, and it felt like the right time, given that now he's passed on. And yeah, R.I.P. to Elgin Baylor. Condolences to the family.
Yeah, man. R.I.P. to Laker legend. One of the jerseys up in the rafters up there.
Yep.
Like you said, he's got a trophy. A statue, and it was long overdue. They took a minute to get him his.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they got it. They finally did the damn thing. And yeah, man. I mean, was it COVID that?
No, they said it
Okay.
was natural causes.
Okay. Okay. Good. I mean, I say good as in the sense that you just hate to lose another to this pandemic.
Yeah.
Even though
No, of
there's
course.
several bad reasons to lose somebody, but there's something about the stink of this pandemic that's like no.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's just tough anytime you lose a legend of a team that you root for, for years, that you grew up with, like us, So we know Elgin Baylor's like a household name for Laker fans,
Yeah.
So
For sure, man.
yeah,
For sure.
tough news. Tough.
For
It was
sure.
tough, like you said, to get that news on top of already like what was happening in the
Yeah.
basketball world with the Lakers. It's like, oh, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I know what you mean, man.
But
Yeah. Laker Nation is in hurting in many ways right now.
reeling right now.
Reeling for sure, man. But yeah, man, I know prior to us to getting on, we wanted to talk about kind of do a follow up on the Deshaun Watson news.
Man, so yeah, talk about bad timing, right? I'm over
Yeah.
here talking about Christmas analogies and what's
Yeah.
under the present and the tree, and then
Yeah.
boom, a bombshell had dropped. Now, mind you, when we recorded that episode, there was the talk of a couple lawsuits that had completely escaped my mind
I did not even know.
as I was thinking about it, like just completely like mea culpa. I didn't even think about it. I was just so hyped on the idea. Again, I was thinking X and O's, and I was
Yeah.
thinking football, and then boom, like a wet blanket. You're just like,
Yeah.
ah, shit, damn, this fool's in some like heap of trouble. Which again, you got to let the the process play out, right? Either
Yeah.
way. And it's like, if he is guilty of all these things, I hope the victims get their justice, and that
Yes.
this dude doesn't play football ever again,
Yeah.
if that's the case. And if he is for some reason innocent also, like, I hope he is able to prove that, and this is something he can put behind him. But we'll see. You got to let
Hmm.
that play out. In the meantime, because it always gets hairy, when you
Hmm.
have a player or an
Yeah.
athlete or anybody famous going through a process like this in public.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. From a PR standpoint or just from a fan standpoint, it's like, yo, stay away, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
That's
want to
true.
open that present anymore. Like, just, it's all good. I'll stay with Jimmy G. Again, if Jimmy G's only problems are that he dated a porn star publicly, like, I'm okay with that. That's my quarterback, as T.O. would say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure, man. I know we wanted to talk about that because we did do a thing, and yeah, like Sonny said, guys, we didn't know. I didn't know at all till
no,
after we
no.
published the episode, and then it was like hours later that I was like, "Oh shoot, this is bad," and I was like, "Oh man."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad that we followed up on it. I know you had a lot of thoughts on it, so yeah, like it was insane, and I just feel like it's I don't know what this means for him in terms of like the free agency or whatever where he can only be traded, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know what
Yeah.
this means for his trade value. But it
I
is
don't think that even matters, man. I mean, I think the only person that would not care about any of this is Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, but they just re-upped
they just signed it. Yeah.
Dak, so they're not in the market for,
Yeah, that's true,
um,
man. So we'll see what happens with Deshaun, but best of luck to him with all that. That's
yeah. Yeah, it's a tough spot, man.
that is a tough spot to be in for sure.
Yeah.
As far as other free agency news from our teams, the Rams signed Deshaun Jackson, which I had told Alex like, yo, man, like you got a deep threat. You know what I mean? For as long as he stays healthy, he's really good.
Wait,
But
is it 2015? Did I not know that we just went back in time because Matthew Stafford and Deshaun Jackson are supposed to be scary to me or something like
I
this?
mean,
It's
again, I don't.
2021. Like, I ain't scared of these dudes. How old are they now? Come on, deep threat. Get out of here.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing from the rumors of the media. I mean, that's what they're saying. You know
Of,
how it is, dude.
of course, man. They gotta hype it all up. They gotta get
the
us
hot
talking
take.
about it.
But yeah, so that was the Rams' kind of latest biggest move is getting to Sean Jackson on a 1-year deal, and the PR team doing a good job of just making it seem like, yo, like you should be excited for this. So yeah, I mean that's cool for the Rams. We'll see what they do. I think there's still more stuff that they got to do and address a lot more things. I did see, I forgot who it was, but a couple of their guys they kind of like moved on from, because I saw a lot of thank you posts like Malcolm Brown and whatnot,
Yeah.
like saying like thank you guys for helping us and whatnot, which that's kind of tells you that they're not coming back to that team.
Yeah.
Chargers haven't really done anything significantly either. I'm still kind of just waiting for something to drop on their end. So we'll see how it goes with NFL free agency. I think the Niners, I think they made so much moves. I think they're kind of settling a little bit, but we'll see what happens, man. I mean, free agency still going on. Drafts coming up soon. So yeah, I know another thing that I definitely wanted us to touch on is stuff. I know something I've been following for sure, which is the whole Angel City
Oh
uh,
yeah, man.
ownership
Oof.
debacle with that YouTuber David. Shoot, I forgot how to pronounce his last name. Like Dobrik, I think it is
Yeah.
David Dobrik. And yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't really know who he was, but when I saw the news about fans from Angel City FC calling him out, saying he needs to like leave as an owner, I was all like, "Oh shoot, what happened?"
Yeah.
And then I went and I searched Google and I found out what happened. Apparently, he's got accused of some serious stuff, rape and things like that back in 2018 when he was still. I mean, he still does his vlog thing. But what he is, he's a YouTuber, so he does these videos, and I saw a couple of the videos just to see like what this dude's about.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the guy has like money because like he is like showing off his mansion out in like Westwood or Brentwood or wherever, like somewhere in the hills, Beverly Hills. It's like super expensive mansions, obviously you could tell. And then like he has all these people over and they're just like hanging out, having fun. Obviously, it's always weird to see these things as the pandemic's happening. That like they're trying to create like this bubble world where like they don't are not experiencing these things. It's
Right.
so annoying. And then for whatever reason, they get like these like kind of like has been celebrities to be on their videos,
Yeah.
so that it ends up becoming like a thing of like, oh, okay, like obviously people that are famous or have some sort of fame,
Wait,
like
who did he have?
like he had like I think it was like Josh Peck from Nickelodeon and stuff from Drake and Josh, and he has like a lot of the Nickelodeon people on
Oh,
board, like a lot of the Disney Channel types that were like back then in like the 97 to 2002,
yeah, he's
2003 fame. And obviously a lot of those guys now are like our age, they're like in their 30s and
yeah.
whatnot, late 20s or early 30s. So he has those guys on, and of course it validates him as like, oh shoot, like you're pretty well known, and he's in LA, he drives nice cars, and just kind of like obviously showing like a fantasy world to young people who would look up to this and be like, yo, I want to be like this guy or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess he had money to be part of the ownership group with ACFC, which is how he got in. And then now this happens, and now ACFC kind of said they didn't really condemn his actions. They just said, he's no longer part of the ownership group. We're looking towards the future. We're gonna kind of move on.
Yeah.
And of course, you saw the replies from Rebellion 99, which I posted on our Telegram. Rebellion 99 and Valkyries, the supporter groups of ACFC, posted saying we condemn what he did. We don't 100% like that. Angel City, like the front office, chose to kind of do like a whatever,
like a backdoor type of escape.
Yeah, like a just whatever statement, like, oh, he's no longer part of us, blah blah blah. And then
Yeah.
obviously I think NWSL also chimed in, and they were just saying, well, we never really approved them to be an owner. So they made it sound like, oh, like it's not really ACFC's fault and stuff, which I don't think anyone's accusing them of anything, but it's almost like
No.
they just don't want you to like make it a big stink about it. They just want you to be like, okay, he's no longer part of us. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is like supporter groups wish they could at least get some sort of like, hey, can you at least ask the club, say we don't stand for this,
Yeah.
doesn't matter like who you are, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, like I'm not saying you have to virtual signal, which sometimes I kind of feel like, okay, I don't want our podcast to ever be accused of anything like that, like, oh, you guys are just virtual signaling and whatnot.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like we're just kind of talking about it as it's happening. And us, as all three of us, like agreed to be supporters of the group, and looking forward to that 2022 opening, game and opening season.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, obviously the club has to have his ducks in order, especially before they launch. Because honestly, like, it's crazy to think they already have all their sponsors in line, yet we don't know who the head coach is. We don't know what the colors of the jersey are and all that. So it seems like they got
usually.
But it feels like you have all your ducks in order for like the money part, which is important. Because how else is this stuff run without money? It's a business. Right. But like don't be like, oh shoot, like this guy was super cool, so we're not gonna say anything negative about him. We'll just say, hey, thank you for your service, and you can't be part of us. So that was a little interesting to see that.
That's the dirty world of sports and entertainment, man, or just entertainment period, is that there's a whole it's the business side of entertainment, right? And that exists everywhere. And you and I and anybody else who, whether it be the supporter groups, we're not privy to the handshakes and the winks, and the backdoor deals that are made and discussions that are had. So it's easy for us to be like, hey, fuck you guys. Like, this was messed up. You need to address it this way, right? Where it's like, it doesn't, again, one of the phrases I always seem to go to is, it doesn't quite work like that, and that's not to say that it shouldn't work like that. I'm just saying it's not how it works. And so for us to have this expectation all the time makes it tough. Like, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed by these. At the end of the day, they're corporations.
Yeah.
They just have a logo, a cool logo, and they have it's a sporting event that you happen to really be passionate about.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still a corporation. So you can't, like, don't go get your stupid tattoos of the team logo and shit. Like, that's why I've always been like, super critical of that whenever somebody wants to like get a tattoo of a team. It's like, come on, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, because they're just, at the end of the day, that's like, might as well get Sony or might as well get like,
Yeah, exactly.
Kellogg's. Like if you love cereal, Kellogg's cereal brand, like,
Yeah, yeah,
like I'm gonna get that tattoo on me. But anyways, you just can't take it. You gotta have realistic expectations of like what these corporations, how they're gonna act. They're trying their best to act, autonomously, but at the end of the day, they answer to so many people,
yeah,
that it's impossible. It's not like just one body.
yeah,
They try to represent one body, but you can't. It's imperfect, imperfect science in that sense. So it's unfortunate. I think they did the right thing, obviously, in separating themselves, from this dude. But I think for me that's good enough.
yeah,
Um, Again, going back to the discussion we had like a month ago about the Mariners' former president, is the same thing. Yeah, do I wish that the Mariners would have just outrightly fired that dude? Yeah, as opposed to giving him the opportunity to quote unquote resign. Of
yeah,
course, but at the end of the day, he's no longer associated with the club, at least as far as we know,
yeah,
and that's what ultimately matters. So
yep,
that's all you can realistically hope for. But speaking of soccer and soccer branding and corporations, one thing that kind of went under the radar, and I don't know if you caught this recently. LAFC, you know how we were talking about how LAFC is in search of a new stadium name?
yeah, yeah.
Apparently, they've been out there seeking new jersey sponsors because
Really?
I had not realized that their contract with YouTube TV was up.
Oh shoot,
So
that was
there
a
was a
fast.
leak. There's a leak out there of I think it was one of our forwards was out there doing like some promo like photography with the
Hmm.
jersey, and somebody, it was like one of those things where the internet just like zoomed in on like a super pixelated type
Oh
image,
dang.
and it turns out the new jerseys are feature on the front a company by the name of Flex. Now, Reddit has gone down the rabbit hole of who the hell this company could be. Apparently, there's like this German company that's called Flex out there, and they think it could be them, but the
Hmm.
logo just kind of doesn't match. So I don't know, man, but something to definitely keep an eye on. LAFC will have a new jersey, front of the jersey sponsor
Wow.
coming up in 2021, and it was like news to me.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's going to
crazy,
be,
dude. The
yeah,
only
yeah.
the only company that I know that has the name Flex in it is Amazon Flex,
There you go. Maybe
which
it's
is their version of what DoorDash is, where they just you could just sign up and you basically just deliver packages using your car.
yeah. So
Amazon Flex,
we'll see, man. To be
which
determined,
would make
but
sense.
the leak is out there. They just haven't. LAFC, obviously, I think they
Is it
probably
the same jersey, or are you
it's
guys getting a new design?
it's the same jersey, but it's
Uh,
all obviously the logo was all in gold. So
yeah,
you no longer had the red YouTube, even though that was from the inaugural season. They had since updated it to where it was all gold as well, the YouTube
yeah.
logo. But it's a new jersey. They have a new alternate jersey that's pretty fly. It's an all pink jersey, like a light pink jersey,
Oh,
I
I
think.
think I saw like some people model it on the Adidas website.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That jersey's pretty fly,
Like
but
they had like a track jacket and stuff because I guess it's like a whole line of clothing
right, right.
that's gonna come out with that. Yeah, yeah, I think I saw that. It's kind of cool. It kind of reminds you of the Miami
Yeah,
kind of vibe.
yeah,
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. That was definitely an interesting choice of color to go with. But I think at the same time you have to do something that pops.
right,
So
right. Yeah, so we'll see, man. I thought again, I'm sure LAFC is planning like an unveiling of some sort that somebody
yeah.
on the internet just kind of killed their eye.
Hey man,
Um,
that happened with the Galaxy, this New Jersey that came out. Like
yeah,
people posted photos of it like a month before, or like a month and a half before it released, and then it just started spreading. And then first it was just a photo of the jersey, then it was the
yeah,
jersey on the rack with the rest of the jerseys for sale. I think they had them in Mexico already, and then it came up here. We all saw it, and like I remember telling Alex, like, "Yo, like, why doesn't the Galaxy just announce the jersey already? Like, it already leaked. Like, we already saw what it looks like.
I'm telling you, the
It's weird.
business dealings, it's the stuff that we're not privy to as fans that is in contract or in discussion or still being held up. There's so many people you have to answer to, from the jersey manufacturers to Adidas in this case, to everybody having to be on the same page before you can unveil officially, right? So
Yeah,
it's this whole world, man, that I think is just convoluted. But anyways, either way, I'm curious to see who that sponsor is exactly going to be.
Who is this
because
flex company?
yeah, exactly.
Now I'm gonna look up companies that have the word flex in it.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
to
telling
see
you, when I saw the German connection, I was like, okay, so do we have like a pipeline now to like German players, or how does
yeah,
how
get
does
some
this work?
Bundesliga guys there.
Yeah, exactly. So is that part of the back end deal now?
Imagine, dude. That's
Holland.
crazy. I mean, they're doing a good job building themselves. They got a youth academy now, which
Yeah,
is important. You got to have that. Like, you got to
yeah.
have some sort of pipeline to have like talent come through and develop and whatnot. So yeah, it seems like slowly they're coming around. It's interesting to see that they're switching so fast, but I didn't realize how fast the deal. But then again, like this is gonna be their 4th year,
That's
so
true.
it,
Yep.
it it feels like to me it feels like they just started like a season or two ago,
You and
and
me
it's like,
both,
oh
man.
damn, 4 year deal. YouTube, but that makes sense because I heard that like MLS wants to eventually package their rights for TV to like one sole company.
Oh, okay. So maybe MLS stepped in and said, "No, you can't renew that with
Well, yeah,
YouTube
that's what it
TV."
is. Like even a Galaxy, they have their stuff ends with Spectrum next season or whatever. Like, and then after that, they're having all the teams just stop whatever deal they have. They're gonna sell it all in a package.
You mean
So
Galaxy isn't on UPN anymore?
no, this guy UPN. Yeah, no, they're not sharing the channel with the Lakers soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I am intrigued to see like which service picks it up. I know it's gonna be a streaming service, dude. It's either gonna be like Peacock or ESPN Plus. I can't see like a normal broadcast company be like, yeah, we definitely want MLS on our.
I mean, who knows, man? It's again, that World Cup is coming. And once that World Cup happens here in the States, the sport's going to go to another level here.
Oh heck yeah!
It just always happens. So if you're a corporation or a network, you're chomping at the bit to try to get out in front of it, because if you can get it at a deal,
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, look at what the NFL just did with Amazon, right?
Shoot, that was insane. I knew that was gonna happen too. I
Yeah.
knew it. There was no way Amazon was having those Thursday night games on Prime last season just to
Right.
like test out. No, they want. If it was up to Amazon, they'd want to own the whole NFL, and
Right.
we'd all have to watch it on Prime, like
Right.
every Sunday. But I think there's a part of it where you can't, and at the same time, like CBS, Fox, all have the money to compete for the NFL rights. Like Fox is like, if all we're known for is carrying the NFL, then we'll just do that. You know? What
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's it. And CBS for sure is like, like you're not gonna like let go of Tony Romo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
No,
you're just,
exactly.
you gotta give him what he needs.
But if
and
you're
that-
Amazon, you got to throw the bank at Peyton Manning, right?
yeah,
You
exactly.
You gotta just do it. And
I am interested in seeing how Amazon builds their Thursday night football. Like, who are they gonna hire for the broadcast booth?
First thing they have to do, first order of business, go and find out who owns the copyright to prime time. I'm sure it's not Deion Sanders, but you gotta purchase that and own that because that makes the most sense. Prime time.
Yeah.
Right? Amazon Prime Time.
Yeah.
Second thing you got to do is throw a whole bunch of Jeff Bezos money at Peyton Manning and get him in the booth.
Yeah.
And then I think the rest will just, trickle down from there. It's like you don't really need to do anything else, man. So
yeah. And even like even the ESPN side is interesting of this deal. Like they're gonna get 2 Super Bowls starting in 2023. And then some of the Monday Night Football games are going to air on ABC.
Okay.
And they're going to get the privilege of getting good matchups on Monday Night Football now. Like they're going to be able to be part of the flex scheduling after week 12. So it's crazy to see the ESPN side. Like they're like building a relationship with them.
So who has the 2022 Super Bowl?
Oh, I didn't even know, dude.
I was going to say, man. So that means the ESPN will get the back-to-back of the Niners Super Bowl championship.
Could be.
Just kidding.
You never know, man.
I wish, and then I wake up.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah. So it's interesting to see how the NFL did it. But damn, they made a lot of money in that deal. Like, it goes to show you that, like, for as much as people say, "Oh, the NFL ratings and blah blah blah," it's like, nah, dude. Like, there's money still to be thrown in that league for sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, on that last note, we're gonna pivot to March Madness.
Yeah.
I know Sonny and I were talking about it last week.
Like
we
two
had no
fools,
clue.
like two idiots.
Yeah, we were. Like, Sonny's like, hey, who's in the Pac-12
Yeah.
in this thing? And it turns out that the Pac-12 is freaking dominant right now.
Dominating this whole thing.
Like, how are we not like watching this? But as of right now, you know, UCLA is playing against Bill Christian, and they're up 60-36.
It's a wrap.
It's like a wrap. I mean, there's only 4 minutes left. I don't think they're going to come back from that. Earlier today, Oregon defeated Iowa, which was interesting to see because they were down, and I saw when they turned it around and they just kind of started going at it, and it's just insane to see how that team just flows really well. And then Oregon State also advanced to the Sweet 16.
USC's still alive. Gonzaga, of course, is looking like the powerhouse of this whole tournament.
They are. It's like, oh man, I don't really want to like that team for the sake of my friend Billy. But, you know, I was watching them earlier today before this UCLA game, and I'm like, man, it's crazy how that team can click. Like, they're clicking on all cylinders, man. It's insane. I don't know who can really beat them. Like, they would have to have like a bad scoring night. But yeah, tonight at 6:40, it's gonna be USC versus Kansas, and hopefully USC takes it because I want to see like UCLA and USC in the Sweet 16.
Dude, how dope would that be?
That would be sick. I think we would I'd definitely be watching those games.
Yeah, dude, I've been watching every game except for this one right now because of this podcast. But yeah, it's just good to have March Madness back.
Yeah,
you know, we missed this last year because it was fresh off of the pandemic, understandably so. But it's been nice to have, you know, basketball games every, you know, 3 hours.
For real, dude. For real.
My pick, just so the listeners know, I went with Michigan to go all the way.
Okay.
So I'm hoping, fingers crossed that
they're good. I think
deliver.
that would be, just because I wouldn't want to pick Gonzaga, I would have picked Michigan as well. Yeah. They look really good. They look really like put together well. And it's been insane. I mean, Sister Jean in the Sweet 16. So many great stories, man.
Yeah.
So many great stories. Seeing them go over as at Oral Roberts University, which is a Protestant Christian university. It's the one where, like, if you want to be a pastor, that's where you go, and they'll equip you to be that. They're like also in it, so it's insane.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is like, you know what? I won't say it. I'll save it for another take next time. I'll say that's a cliffhanger right there.
Yeah, but looks like the Lord's in the Sweet 16 as well, from what we're seeing with the Loyola Chicago and Oral Roberts. The Lord's in the Sweet 16. But yeah, it's insane seeing it. But a lot of cool stories, man. I'm liking it. You know, the upsets, it's amazing. So I love it. Cinderella's left and right. I like it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm here for it, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks of it, basically, as we wind down to the championship game.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna do it for us this week, guys. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at the West Box Score. Follow Sonny Hermano, Primo Rick at the Fox Crate. Sonny, anything you want to say about Fox Crate? Any updates?
No, man. Still packing up, unboxing some shit, and and we're almost there. Unfortunately, we don't stream this video, but you could see that I got my trusty little mic flag, the Fox Crate mic flag. I finally set up the studio again, so that we can get rolling. Now it's just a matter of doing the damn thing. So stay tuned, stay hyped. Check us out at the Fox Crate Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And again, like Donald said, check out this podcast, the West Box Score, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Are you guys still on Reddit? What are you guys doing? Are you doing Twitter, Reddit, the whole thing? Is there a forum?
We're on Twitter and Instagram.
Is there a subreddit that people can get in on this discussion, this debate, this corporate greed that we keep talking about?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I wouldn't mind exploring getting a Discord server, you know, because I love. I've been on some Discords lately for like financial, personal finance stuff, and it's been cool. Like, I like the community of that. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a Discord going for West Box Score for all our people that want to like talk about LA sports and just like geek out on like anything West Coast related.
Also, be sure to check out Alex and Donald at their OnlyFans at the West Box Score, right? Or no? Or is that not a thing? Oh, my bad. Just kidding.
But yeah, so Anyways, special thanks to our media partner as well, Blue Wire Hustle. Check them out on Twitter at Blue Wire Hustle. We'll be putting their link on the show notes. We'll put Sonny's link on the show notes. But yeah, other than that, guys, we'll be back next week. We'll talk more NBA. We'll keep up with the NFL free agency, see what's going on.
Baseball's right around the corner,
And baseball's
baby.
right around the corner. Yeah, we're definitely, as April hits, we're definitely going to be talking about opening day and how our teams are looking for the baseball season. So should be fun, and it should be a good one, man. But until next time, guys, later.
Go Pac-12. Peace.